All right, folks, come on in. Come on in. Welcome. We're back. We're on the road to FinFest. We're almost there. FinFest is happening this year, second year in a row, but this is the first time we've got both virtual and live. Last year, we were all virtual. We had about 3,000 people show up at the event. We had about 180,000 show up after the event, which you can do. If you can't make it to New Jersey, we'll send you a link to everything that happened and you can watch it. If you can't make it to Grand Rapids, we'll send you an email and send you a link and you can watch it live either in Grand Rapids, Michigan, led by Reverend Dallas Lenear, who is my co-host. He's on with us now, or at Kean University, where my special guest tonight is going to be. And I couldn't be more excited. I just wanted to have an AshCash concert, but we were committed already to having all these other speakers. But of the 25 speakers, you are the one who has the story, who has the power, who has the prosperity formula, and I can't thank you enough for your willingness to come on the day before your birthday to be one of our platform speakers. Ash, listen. First, I'm going to ask you a personal question, but in about 5 minutes, I want you to tell all of my followers, because you got about 3 million followers, and all of them know you, but my little 300 followers don't know you. So would you tell my followers and Dallas's followers who you are and what you do?
Yes. First and foremost, thank you, Dr. Soaries. Thank you, Dallas, for having me. It's an honor, because I stand on the shoulders of giants like you two. And it's just an honor to be able to be part of a movement that's helping our culture move forward financially. So my name is AshCash Exantis. I am a former 15-year banking executive. Started my career at 19 years old working in the bank. Did everything in banking from teller to personal banker, private banker, branch manager. At 31, I was one of the youngest CEOs of a federally chartered bank. Left the banking world because in the words of the Honorable Sean Carter, Jay-Z, there's much bigger issues in the world I know, but I first had to take care of the world I know, right? And so I realized that when I got to the C-suite in banking, that there were people back in my community that still didn't understand how to make money, how to manage money, how to invest money. And I spoke both languages, and I said, you know what? It's my responsibility to not be a brain drain, as Brother Malcolm X would say, not be a brain drain to my community. Because I grew up in Harlem. I am a product of the St. Nicholas Housing Projects in Harlem, New York. And so after I left banking, I wrote my first book in 2009 called Mind Right, Money Right, 10 Laws of Financial Freedom. I've since written 12 books. 4 of them have been bestsellers. I have a world-class podcast called Inside the Vault with AshCash. It's been listened and viewed over millions of times throughout the world. And I'm just here to serve God. I believe, regardless of what your faith is, all of the sacred scriptures say that we're made in the image and likeness of God. And the best way to serve God is to prove God, right? So wherever you come from, we are our people, and this is what I believe, that our people are in the best position to prove God, because we start with where we are, and how can you manifest prosperity if it isn't God? And so I have the saying that says, I am greatness on display, G-O-D, greatness on display. And so my goal is to display that greatness as much as I can, and then help others display their greatness as well.
Ash, just listening to you for those brief moments, it took me back to 1969. I was an 18-year-old college student, freshman, and I went with a group of students to Durham, North Carolina. And it was the opening of a school, an independent Black school called Malcolm X Liberation University. Founder of that school went on to become superintendent of schools in Milwaukee. He's got a charter school now. His name is Howard Fuller. And I retweeted one of his tweets this week because that trip changed my life. I was in a gymnasium with 3,000 people. I was in the last row of the bleachers, And Howard Fuller gave a speech that electrified the crowd, but it changed my life. And I made a commitment that day that I was going to learn how to do what that man was doing. Folks, here's what I'm telling you. You just were exposed to AshCash. He's going to tell you more about what he does. But rarely do you get a chance to see someone like this young man live in living color in person for free. Very rare. You see him on Instagram, you see him on Facebook, he's got podcasts, he travels places, but very rarely do you get a chance to be in his presence, listen to him for free. And I promise you, I would bet you, but I don't believe in gambling. I promise you that if you listen to AshCash live for 29 minutes, by the time it gets to minute number 30 and he's wrapping up, you're going to decide to do something you've never done before. So I want you, while you're listening, go to dfree.com and register for FinFest. If you're in the New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania area, you can drive. It's at Kean University. It's 8 minutes from the Newark Airport. It's right off the Garden State Parkway. If you have young people that you work with in schools, bring your young people. If you've got somebody living in your house for free and not paying rent, bring that person, because this young man is going to do for somebody what Howard Fuller did for me in 1969. So you talked about being a banker. Why do you do what you do? Well, I mean, you get up early in the morning. I think, are you still on Instagram every day?
No, I stopped doing that. It got a little taxing, so I had to stop doing that.
Well, thank God.
But I did it for 2 years, every Friday.
Every day. Why? Yeah. Why? I mean, this is your birthday weekend. When I called you and asked you to come, you said, "Listen, man, I'm celebrating my birthday, but if my wife says I can come, I'm coming." Yes. Why do you do what you do when you probably could make more money and have less to do by selling used cars? I mean, why do you do what you do?
Yeah, I'm in debt. I owe, and I believe that you can't ask God for something that wasn't in your life, and then when you become that thing, you not provide it back, right? And so, I had a pretty troubled, growing up in the hood. I had a troubled past. I got kicked out of school 4 times. So I got kicked out in the 1st grade, in the 5th grade, in the 9th grade, in the 10th grade. I got expelled. I didn't do anything in the other 3 times. I did something. In the 10th grade, I really didn't do anything, but I was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, and so I got expelled. I got expelled. There were opportunities for me to go down the wrong path. Sell drugs and play with illegal guns and things of that nature. I watched my friends die, go to jail. I have a friend that's doing 65 to life, like a close friend that's doing 65 to life for he didn't murder anybody. He was just there when somebody murdered somebody and he got convicted. And any of those situations could have been me. And so every single day that God gives me breath, I'm in debt, and I owe. And one of the things that I wish I had, in hindsight, I know why I didn't have it, right? Because I wish I had guidance. I wish somebody was going to, like a mentor or people to show me that I didn't have to be an athlete. I didn't have to be a rapper. I didn't have to sell drugs, that there were other ways out of the circumstance that I was in. I prayed for that. And so in hindsight, I realized why God didn't give those things to me, because God needed me to be a credible messenger. I wouldn't be able to talk to people who are from the neighborhood or anybody who's ever, been in any situation in which they're down and out. I get emails from people who are incarcerated all the time. People read my books who are behind the wall, and they can relate to me, right? Because I'm one of them.
Yeah.
Through God's grace, I was able to, think about it, I was a banker. If I had if I would have got caught, let's just say that, if I would have got caught doing any of the things that I did when I was a child, there's no way I would be a banker, because you cannot have a record. And so I do what I do because I owe. I believe that every single person their life is not theirs. You know, their life is a like God uses everybody as a vessel to bless other people. And so I could easily be happy that I escaped, poverty and escaped, crime and all these other things, and just live happily ever after in a big house with my family. But at the end of the day, there's somebody who needs me, right? When we turn on the news, our community is still not where it needs to be, and I can be a big impact to my community, and I owe that. And so every single day, I don't even pray for things anymore. I wake up and I say, God, how can you use me? How can I help? Like what is the direction you want me to go? And then I just listen and I just go in that direction.
And that's exactly why I respect you. It's why I support you. It's why I love you. And it's why I'm so excited and humbled that you take time on your birthday weekend to come to New Jersey. So let me introduce you to this young man who is here with us. He is a young minister. I met him years ago when he heard about dfree. He's been to all of our conferences. He has been with me to Africa. He leads an organization now in Grand Rapids, Michigan called Project Green. And let me tell you how profound that is. In addition to helping people on a day-to-day basis with their finances, mostly lower income people, what he's doing, Ash, he's organizing a live event like a watch party, so that while we are physically at Kean University, he is physically going to be with his members and his community in Michigan, since they can't all come to New Jersey, and it's not adequate for him to have them watch on the screen. So this young man is Dallas Lenear. He's a leader in Grand Rapids, Michigan. He is an upcoming dfree leader. When I retire, he will still be on the scene handling dfree with young brothers like him. So Dallas, thank you for organizing the very first effort of having a watch party. He is also helping us develop a dfree affiliate strategy where local groups can become affiliates of the dfree financial freedom movement. So Dallas, I'm introducing you to this dynamic brother. You've heard about it, you've seen him, AshCash. So ask Ash a question that the people in Grand Rapids need the answer to.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dr. Soaries. Well, full well that I am so excited to be a part of what dfree is doing. Anytime dfree is doing anything, but especially this FINFE T event. And I'm looking forward to bringing the dfree energy to Grand Rapids and to West Michigan. AshCash, part of what Project Green has done is we have really built our brand and done a lot of our work in trying to get people to avoid payday lending, predatory lending. And so I wonder what are those traps that people fall into? Perhaps you've seen people fall into them. Maybe it's payday lending or other predatory traps that are in our neighborhood specifically. What have you seen where you've tried to steer people away from potholes and pitfalls?
Yeah, oh, that's great. And thank you, Dallas. I appreciate you for the work that you do. When I was the CEO of a credit union, it was in the Queensbridge houses in New York City, which was the largest public housing in the world, 90 buildings, right? And one of the goals in that credit union was really about steering the community away from the pawn shops, from the payday lending, from the rent centers and the layaway places. And one of the things we realized was that all it takes is a small loan or a small savings program to get people away from these payday lenders. Because once you get into predatory lending, it becomes a rabbit hole that you can never get out of, where you're being charged, and I get it, right? Because I was the guy, one time where I needed gas in my car and I knew I only had $1 or $2, and so I'm gonna fill it up because I know that I'm gonna overdraft my account, but I need this gas more than anything. And I knew that once I overdraft that account, that the bank was going to charge me the overdraft fees, but I needed the gas, right? Or I was the person that, you know, that knew that, you know, I was going to be charged these fees. So I understand, you know, where the community comes from. And I think that one of the biggest ways that we've helped the community get around that is I tell everybody, you know, treat yourself like FICA, right? Like, I don't know who FICA is, but every time I got paid, she took her money off the top. So she ain't even let me see it yet. She just said, give me my percentage. I'm gonna take that. And I'm like, why am I always paying her? And then I was getting my money after I paid her. Then I budget my money that way. And I always tell people to you know, set it and forget it. Right.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is pay yourself first. You know, get into a situation where it, you know, make sure you just take yours off the top. Whether it's you know, I like 10%, right? And so every $100 you make, you know, take $10 and put it away. But the biggest problem that a lot of us have is that we put our money in the same place, right? And so what happens is, if I have a checking account here and I'm gonna save it with Bank A, I'm gonna put my savings account with Bank A. But guess what happens? When Black Friday happens, when Macy's has a buy one get one free sale, we gonna be like, I don't got it in my checkings, but now we see it in the savings, and now it's just a click of a button, we transfer it over. And so I always say, make it inconvenient, right? Make sure that financial freedom fund, we don't call it an emergency fund, right? Because life and death is in the power of the tongue. Words have power. And so I'm not calling emergencies into my life. So I don't want an emergency fund. I don't want an account that I'm going to use for emergencies, because if I'm prepared, I'll never have an emergency. So I'm going to create a financial freedom fund that's separate from my main account. I don't want a debit card. I don't want anything to have access to it. In fact, I would bank with a regional bank, or a bank that is inconvenient for you to get to. And then now your main account is for your bills, have the money come off top, and then that money goes directly into this account. Set it, forget it. So now when anything comes up, or you need access to this financial freedom fund, you'll realize that you'll have that 6 to 8 months of expenses in your account. And then that's the beginning to be free.
That's right. That's right. Well, you know, listen, Ash, you know, you said something that really resonates, because most of what we consider an emergency is not an emergency. Yep. Having a flat tire is not an emergency. An emergency is something you can't predict. Tires go flat. Absolutely. And an emergency is something that you can't cover. If you have the money, you just pay it. It's not an emergency. Absolutely. And I'm glad you mentioned Black Friday, because, you know, I too am speaking at FinFest, by the way. You're not the only star at FinFest, but I'll be talking about how to be in the black on Black Friday. Yes. And then on Black Friday, I'm launching a month-long campaign. I'm dreaming of a Black Christmas, not a Christmas for Black people, but a Christmas where Black people will be in the black. Because to be in the black means that you own more than you owe. Listen, I can't tell you how excited I am about you coming. Folks, if you are inspired and impressed by AshCash on screen, you can't imagine the impact he'll have on your life, on your mind, on your child, on your grandchild, on your family when you come to see him live. And so go to dfree.com, register now for FinFest. It's all free. All we need is your name and email address, and we'll send you the free ticket and free lunch. We have a job. Ash, did you know we have a job fair? We have a job fair. We have over 1,000 jobs available for people that are looking for work, or looking for part-time work, or looking for a better job. We've got free lunch. We've got entertainment. We got a DJ filling the gaps all day long. We've got a hip hop violinist, and we've got lawyers to talk about wills and estates. We've got financial advisors to help you with your budget. We've got licensed debt counselors to help you restructure your debt for free and develop a plan for getting out of debt. It's a financial festival, starting at 9:30 in the morning, ending at 4:30 in the afternoon, and then singing happy birthday to Ash as he leaves to go to some unknown location organized by his wife. Listen, Dallas and Ash, thank you for your time tonight. I love both of you young brothers, and I look forward to seeing you on Saturday.
Thank you so much, Dr. Soaries. Thank you, Dallas. I'm excited. It's going to be fun.
Sir.
Ash, are
And
you
thank
gonna have your
thanks
book
for
with you?
promoting it.
Oh, there we go. From the block to the bank. I appreciate you,
Yes,
sir.
Are
And
you
thanks
gonna have
for
your
saying a
book
word
with you?
about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll bring some. I'll bring some. Yes, I'll bring some.
All right.